Welcome again. You're wondering if I wear the same shirt for 2 weeks in a row. Yes, I do. I only have 3 shirts, and I've given 2 of them away to my friends. I'm just kidding, but we're recording this in the library, and we do it all at once. So I'm speaking to you from the past into the future. Today is April 15th, and the scriptures we're reading are Psalm 7, Psalm 27, Psalm 31, Psalm 34, and Psalm 52. I've entitled this devotion, A Word from God When Needed. And specifically, the verse I want to look at is Psalm 27, verse 10 and 11. The psalmist writes, "Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in a straight path because of my oppressors." Several years ago, when I was on the University of Illinois campus, I was taking young students out on the quad to share Christ. I was at Champaign to train students who wanted to learn how to share their faith. I met a young college freshman who'd never shared his faith before with anybody, and I could see he was terrified. I quickly asked God to give us conversations that would be easy for him to engage with. We saw a young college student sitting in the middle of the quad, and I thought this would be a good guy to go talk to, so we walked up to him, and I introduced myself and says, "Hey, we're a few Christians out on the campus, and we're here to just talk to people about God. Would you be interested?" And this graduate student says, "Well, it depends on whether you believe in three-dimensional realms of consciousness and whether there are 4 other dimensions," and goes on in this long diatribe of philosophy that I knew nothing about. And I thought to God, "God, why would you give me this guy to take this young freshman student to learn how to share his faith? He's got to be even more terrified." And as I was praying about that, Psalm 27, verse 10 came up to mind. "When my father and mother forsake me, thou, O Lord, will receive me." And this young man's name was Dean. He was a graduate student. I looked at Dean. I said, "Dean, those are all some great questions, but I find myself wondering, tell me about your life growing up." And he immediately went into rage. I've seen this happen so many times. He said, "My father left my home at age 7 when I was 7. I had to be big brother, dad, provider, and protector. I've never seen my dad since. You talk to me about a God who allows that to happen." And I looked at him and patiently waited for a moment. I looked back at Dean. I said, "Dean, I can tell you now why we're here. Because the God that we've come to represent says that when your father and mother forsook you at age 7, God was waiting outside your life ready to receive you and adopt you into his family. In all these years, from the time you were 7 to the time you're probably 22 or 23 now, he's been longing to get into your house and into your home so he could adopt you as his own." And we began to watch Dean change completely from rage and anger to one of brokenness. Dean allowed us to pray with him. We talked with him at length about his relationship, his need for Jesus. He did not give his life to Jesus at that moment. But as we were walking away, the freshman that was with me from University of Illinois, named Scott Helmer, said, "That was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life." And I know I just checked out on Facebook. And Scott, if you ever get this on Facebook, you'll recognize who I am. I see that on your Facebook post today, you say you're still walking with God and sharing Christ with your friends. What an amazing example of how God takes a word at a given moment to change not just a hardened, unbelieving student into a soft one that's ready to receive, and to a student who wants to share his faith but's terrified, into one who's now faithfully sharing the gospel through his life. Wow. God is faithful to make sure we know what we're doing. May your word, O God, be in us a wellspring of wisdom and knowledge, so that we may declare your praises to those who are still waiting to come home. Now you go out and declare his praises today. Have a good day.